Greetings and welcome to the Dormitory Authority's Auction Rate Securities Investors and Research Analyst Teleconference. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode, and a brief question-and-answer session will follow the formal presentation. If anyone should require operator assistance during the conference, please press star zero on your telephone keypad. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, Mr. David Brown, Executive Director. Thank you, Mr. Brown. You may now begin.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for participating in this call. We have some important news that we want to tell you about what we're doing to, help our clients navigate through the rough weather that we're seeing in the auction rate bond market. And what we're going to do is talk for about 20 minutes, try and get through a fair amount of material, and then turn to your questions, and we're very eager to hear all of those. In a nutshell, here at the Dormitory Authority, we've been doing two things. First, we're helping our clients chart a course of action, in some cases one that's going to get them out of these bonds, in others we're changing the mode of the bond or staying in the bond. But we have a number of private clients who are in these securities, and we've been working very closely with each of them as they try and assess the situation and figure out what the rational best course of action is for them. And then second, we're trying to get the auctions themselves to work better. We're trying to get more investors to look at the credit quality of these Dormitory Authority bonds, and I believe that they have very attractive yields relative to comparable bonds that you would see outside of the auction market. So we're trying to get the auctions themselves to work better for the time period when borrowers are still in these bonds. And as I say, some of them may be staying in these bonds. Let me say up front that the subject of this call is the Dormitory Authority's auction rate securities that are issued for private not-for-profit clients and not our state-supported debt. The state is working with the other public authorities to make a comprehensive solution for state-supported debt like CUNY debt or the Department of Mental Health program. What we are talking about are the Dormitory Authority's current private borrowers, and alphabetically they are Brooklyn Law School, Cornell University, the Culinary Institute of America, Fordham University, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, Mercy Medical Center, New York University, Rockefeller University, St. John's University, Teachers College, and the University of Rochester. Here's what we've been doing over the last 2 weeks or so. We have been in very close contact with our clients, as I said before. We're working on assessing what their best options are, whether that's staying where they are, changing the mode of their debt, or refunding and redeeming. We have formed a task force here at the Dormitory Authority, including our outside advisor, Joe Fischera from Sabre Partners, who will be talking shortly. And we're also coordinating in a larger state task force that's been organized by the Department of Budget to look at some of the state-supported debt issues. We are on the phone every day with the investment banks that are brokers for these auctions. We're pressing them to improve the liquidity in these auctions by getting additional buyers. I mean, after all, these auctions have been failing not because of credit quality, but because of a lack of buyers or a lack of liquidity. And we are keeping an eye on how they are performing in promoting these auctions. None of these banks, by and large, the brokers at the auctions are by and large the investment banks that underwrote the initial issuances of bonds, and no investment bank has a lock on our business. We're looking at the performance of the investment banks in their role as brokers very carefully, and we are going to keep it in mind going forward as we allocate future investment banking business. And certainly we're going to recognize those investment banks that perform really well as brokers. I have to say candidly that so far this has not been the investment bank's finest hour. So we are looking for improvement there and monitoring the situation very closely on a day-to-day basis. We are trying to increase the number of brokers that participate in these auctions, and there's some complexity to that, but it is our hope that new brokers will get into this market, and we certainly would recognize the initiative that new brokers would show in coming in